What is up, my Sabronis? This is episode number 5 of the Sabo Standard Podcast. And, going forward, I might say in the episode the number, but the description, no more numbers. We're just going to start with, the name going forward. No, we don't need episode numbers. Hey, thanks for checking this out. Guys, as I was just kind of getting this ready, looking over some things, we've had over 200 downloads so far with only 4 episodes. So I appreciate that. If you've checking this out, if you've given any looks, any listens, thank you. Thank you so much. The TikTok, posted some things on TikTok last week, and it's crazy how that's kind of obviously I'm not surprised, but that's the biggest platform of growth. But, you post something on TikTok, and that's where it kind of gets the most views. So obviously this is a podcast first. I try to prioritize the audio part of the podcast first, but, got this on video now. Got, the first one fully on YouTube, and then just try and create some TikToks out of it. So, hey, I appreciate you. Thank you guys again for helping me get to this point of some support from you guys, and hopefully we keep making this bigger and more fun as we go. And, if you can't tell, I'm tired, man. I look tired. I feel just drained, just defeated right now. Obviously, the little man, if you know me, you know he's not sleeping well right now, and it's taking a toll. It's taking a toll on us here at home, and finding time to do this is hard. This is a Tuesday night that I'm doing this. I like to get these done on Monday night that we record on post on Tuesday, and I just feel a day late, dollar short, 14 hours, 15 days. I don't even know, just behind on everything. So finding that time to do this is hard. Obviously, I got a job. Obviously, I got football of our own, and we got family of our own. And so the hobby that we want to make a big priority is hard to prioritize, but just trying to get through it. Tired and all. Cats in the background as we speak. Just trying to get these cats out of the way. So, but we have football to talk about. We got a lot to talk about. So, let's get into it. By the way, I've heard that the intro kind of gets a little loud. So hopefully it's edited at this point, a little fix up for you, not as loud as it was. And I'm working on getting something newer, something better, something not as loud, something just that fits the tone a little bit more. But until then, our intro is our intro. We'll use it. And again, hopefully it's quieter. Guys, we got football to talk about. Let's get into it.
Steps into it, pass is caught, Diggs, sideline, touchdown, unbelievable! Pulls up, three-pointer, bang, bang, it's good! The standard is the standard, that's our motto.
All right, big week of football. Some really great college football games. Some teams that really stood out. Some teams that, we had early on in the season not being great. And this is for both college and NFL. I mean, I was shocked with some of those results on Sunday. The Commanders last Thursday just laying another egg on Thursday Night Football in Green Bay, and in Green Bay shocking some teams. College-wise, Clemson, what's going on? Notre Dame, they lost 2 games to 2 really, really good teams by 4 points. Do they have any chance with the playoff? These are a lot of questions that we have to answer, and I don't have the answer for all those, but I can go back to these games and talk about them and look at them and think, like, is this team really for real, or is that team just, are they beating them on the bad teams, and then that's going to be it? So just recapping both college and NFL, looking forward to the future a little bit. With next week's big games. Before we do that, got a new thing that I want to do. It is called Question for the Comments. Okay, groundbreaking stuff, right? First person ever do this. So if you're watching on YouTube or you're watching on TikTok, I'm going to ask you a question. Comment your answer to that question. Okay, if you're not on YouTube or not on TikTok, you listen to this, go to YouTube, go to TikTok, find the video, comment your answer to the question, and if we get some comments, we'll share those answers next week to the question. Okay, so first edition of this question for the comments. After 2 weeks, who's your biggest NFL surprise? Who's your team that is like, my goodness, they might actually win the Super Bowl? Like, they're that good, they've shocked you. A team maybe that you didn't see, that you didn't expect to get to this point. Question for the comments: who is your surprise team through 2 weeks that you think can actually go out there and win a Super Bowl. All right, so let's start with some college stuff. Before we get into these games, these upcoming games that these teams play, they announce the times. And Ohio State on a bye week this week, no game for them. They come back the next Saturday, so it'll be like the 29th or something. 29, 30, something like that. That's Saturday, that last Saturday in September. They're playing Washington. Going to Washington, traveling to play at Husky Stadium, playing the Washington Huskies. And in a game that almost felt like it should be a night game is 3:30 kickoff. And I'm mad. I really am. I'm so mad at this. And the same mad that we found out that Ohio State was going to play Texas at noon. And obviously I went to that game. Great environment at noon. Great crowd, loud as can be, beautiful day of football. I mean, it was everything you can ask for from a noon game. But I'm so sick and tired of Ohio State playing these big games at noon, at 3:30, and not at night. And I understand that there's a big I'll tell you who it is soon. The Thursday night game on NBC, I think it might be Oregon, Penn State or something. Great game. NBC, primetime, 7:30, like Ohio State at Oregon was last year. But other than that game over the last 2 years, that's not a college football playoff game. Obviously, Ohio State played Tennessee at night in the college football playoff. ESPN did the broadcast. They played Texas at night, in the Cotton Bowl, ESPN broadcast. They played the Rose Bowl. Obviously, the Rose Bowl starts when it does, about 4 o'clock. That's standard Rose Bowl, ESPN broadcast. And the National Championship at night, 7:30 kickoff at night, ESPN broadcast. Other than that, in the last 2 years, Ohio State either plays night games at Oregon on NBC or they play Peacock games, OU at home at 7 o'clock. And it's a joke. And I know it's not Ohio State's fault. It's Kevin Warren's fault. It's the Johnson president when she was there. It's her fault. There's no backbone for Ohio State. And they signed this media deal that basically handcuffs Ohio State to be, big noon kickoffs, number one team. That Ohio State is on it 4, 5, 6 times a year, holding the way down. Every team gets the same amount, the same check from Fox, CBS, and NBC to do this crap. Everybody gets the same number, even though Ohio State's on it 5, 6 times. To put Ohio State Washington at 3:30 on CBS because you have only one basically big time evening game on NBC is just, it's a joke. It's a travesty. It's taking the biggest brand in football and making them play 3:30 noon 30 local time for Washington people. You're gonna make that game start 12:30. That should be a night game in a beautiful stadium, playing a big time opponent. One from the from the Pac-12 coming in the first time they played them as conference opponents, going over there, and you're gonna put it at 3:30 in the afternoon because you had no backbone to decide from the beginning that we're not gonna sign with CBS, we're not gonna sign with Fox, we're not gonna sign with NBC, ESPN, and the broadcast and production that ESPN puts on, and the ability to put them in on night. Should have been all the leverage Ohio State needed and had. Nobody had a backbone when it came to deciding that. Kevin Warren negotiated this deal, didn't even try to negotiate with ESPN, basically cut ties with them when it came to Big Ten football, Big Ten basketball, and here we are stuck to 2029 with Ohio State being the backbone of Fox Big Noon Kickoff, the occasional CBS game, and then we get a night game against OU on Peacock, exclusively on Peacock. And that's another thing. Ohio State, Michigan, Oregon, Penn State, USC, those teams should never, ever, ever, ever be on Peacock only. You put Purdue and Iowa on that channel. You give, Nebraska and Rutgers, Maryland and Indiana. And Indiana's had really good teams the last 2 years. Illinois, great team this year. Those are the teams that they get 1, 2 Peacock exclusive games. Ohio State, Oregon, Michigan, Penn State, your big brands, your powerhouses of your conference should never, ever, ever be on Peacock only. And part of this media deal is they get a game every year on Peacock. Luckily, I had Peacock. My friend Justin, shout out Justin, hooked us up with his Peacock. But you're just the Big Ten regular season value, to me, my opinion, is in the dumpster. The broadcast, the production, everything about Fox Big Noon or NBC or CBS is just awful compared to ESPN's production. And listen, ESPN drives me crazy. ESECPN is what we call it, right? The commitment to the SEC and the over hyping of the SEC and putting 11 SEC teams in the top 25. I get it. I get there's a lot of hype on them, and obviously they don't feed on the Big Ten until really the playoffs come. There are people that the television people aren't all Big Ten, but man, like Kevin Warren dropped the ball. Really screwed Ohio State. I mean, if Ohio State's media deals were Fox and ESPN, I can get it. I get a few Fox games. But like Penn State at night, whether it's in Columbus or at Happy Valley, should be a night game only. Never at noon. Maybe noon in Columbus. I could get noon in Columbus. But like Ohio State, that should be the whiteout game. That's tough for Ohio State to do, but they should be able to go do it. Oregon, Ohio State, that should be at night every single time, whether it's at Oregon or in Columbus or at USC or USC and Oregon or USC and Penn State. Those big brands, like those are the games that we need at night. Those are games that we need, not always at Fox at noon. Ohio State's going to go Texas next year. 100% guarantee. I would put $10,000 on it right now that game's ESPN night game with Fowler Herbstreit calling it. And obviously, they can call it because it'll be an ESPN production being at Texas. But they come to Ohio State, it's got to be a noon game. And Fox has no backbone, or Ohio State has no way of getting out of that. And Fox doesn't care because that's their ratings. Anyway, done with that rant. Just want to put that out there. It just makes me so angry. Anyway, we had some great college football games. Great college football games. So let's start talking about those. Kind of looking back, and then really some really good, fun matchups coming up. And I said it last week. There's a chance that in a few weeks, Ohio State's going to travel to Champaign, Illinois. And Champaign, Illinois, the Fighting Illini might really host College Game Day. I mean, there's a chance. I say Ohio State, beat Ohio 37-9. Ended up covering the spread at the very end. Sayan played really well. 2 picks that were one kind of his fault for being short. The other kind of seemed tipped. Jeremiah Smith, 153, touchdown. Feed him, get him as many stuff as he can. And Bo Jackson's going to be a starter for the Buckeyes here very, 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 very soon. Best running back on the team by far. I love everything about Bo Jackson. Fits that team really well. Florida LSU, Florida goes in the swamp, or goes into Death Valley, scores 10 the first half, shut out the second half. LSU probably could have and should have put up more points. And guys, Florida's 1-2. They're playing Miami this week. They might be 1-3. They're going to lose a lot of games, but they are a good team that just doesn't have the talent all the way around. So I'm not surprised when there's ever a dogfight with any of these teams. But LSU, being as good as LSU is, probably should have had a few more points. South Florida, Miami, 49-12. South Florida just remarkable first 2 weeks. And if South Florida wins out, I think that they are the Group of 5 team in the playoff. They'll be the ACC or AAC champ. They dropped out of the rankings after this game, and I just can't believe that you would do that to them. They beat 2 ranked teams, and they go lose to the number 5 team in the country. Granted, by 37, big rain delay. Maybe that doesn't happen. There's not that rain delay. Maybe it does, but they're a Group of 5 team who played really well. Exceeded expectations so far. They're gonna be the Group of 5 representative if they win out, which they absolutely can. The AAC, obviously, it's not a tough conference by any means, and they are a really good team who should go win those games and be in the playoff. Georgia, Tennessee. I mean, I hate Georgia. I hate Tennessee. Tennessee fans last year, they came in, they tried to give Ohio State run for the money, and obviously, Nico left a very sad man. Nico was gone, and Tennessee just had to look so good through 2 weeks. And Tennessee came out swinging. They were up 21-7 at one point in the first. And the second and third quarter really belonged to Georgia, just getting that momentum back. And the fourth quarter was back and forth. And that kicker, poor guy. One job, make the kick. But honestly, it's on him. There's 7, 8, 9 seconds left on the clock. Tennessee lines up, let's run one more play, get the clock down. And what happens? False start. That moves them back 5 yards. Kicker misses it, goes into overtime. I mean, I'm sick for Tennessee fans. I was rooting for Tennessee on this one. We needed Tennessee to win. Just knock Georgia out early, get some losses on Georgia's table, because I don't think Georgia's that good. Gunnar Stockton played well. I don't think he's great by any means. I think he played well. He showed up in this game. Kirby Smart had them ready. But just to see Tennessee lose that in overtime, they should have won it. Should have won regulation. Cannot believe that they let that one slip away. Texas UTEP, guys, is Arch really just not that good? I mean, I don't know. Is he hurt? I don't know. But it's amazing, the hype. And I did it. I said it. I said he was going to win the Heisman. I thought he was going to go number one next year. He's going to be on the Cowboys next year, the Saints. Like, it's one of those two teams. And through 3 games, it just doesn't look good. Now, Texas as a whole is really good. The defense is still really solid. There's talent there. They've recruited well. I still think that they can win the SEC, but maybe Arch just isn't generational. And don't worry, Peyton Manning's got a son here soon that's going to be playing college football eventually that we're going to have this whole stuff for again. Notre Dame, Texas A&M. Texas A&M goes and wins 41-40, pulls away at the very end. This is another one where kind of rooting for Notre Dame. Notre Dame has lost 2 games by 4 points, 3 to Miami, 1 to Texas A&M. They're 0-2. If they win out 10-2, are they in the playoff? There's a possibility. But there's a lot of teams right now that are fighting for spots. Obviously, you're gonna have your Ohio States, your Penn State, your LSU, your Georgia/Tennessee, maybe both. You're gonna have your Big 12 team, your ACC team, whether that's Florida State, whether it's Miami, whether it's both, whether it's Georgia Tech. I mean, there's teams there that are going to take these spots, and I don't know if Notre Dame has a chance to steal it back, especially with an 0-2 start. If they got one of them, if they got this one, Texas A&M at home, then 11-1 Notre Dame's in. But it's really hard to say. It's really hard to justify. And Jeremiah Love, the same thing with Arch, the projection of him being really good. Don't get me wrong, I think he is good. I just cannot believe that he has not put up the yards, the touchdowns, the yards per rush that he was projected to. The quarterback play was supposed to be improved with Carr, and it just hasn't yet. Notre Dame, they put up a lot of points, but they have to be able to find ways to get Jeremiah Love the ball to help him be explosive like he is. And they have to win out. They have to win the rest of these games going forward. Illinois 38-0 over Western Michigan. Illinois, they're gonna do their thing. Big one against Ohio State in a matter of weeks. They have Indiana this coming week. We'll preview that one in a second. Clemson and Georgia Tech. I mean, this might have been the game of the day. This was so much fun. Georgia Tech defensively dominated them in the beginning, and Tech Tebow, Haynes King. These are Haynes King stats. 20 for 28, 211 passing yards, 25 carries, 103 yards, and a touchdown. I mean, he put Georgia Tech on his back. He put them in a position to win. And Georgia Tech is freaking good. Tech Tebow is fun to watch. Tech Tebow, Haynes King has a chance to go win the Heisman. I mean, I'm telling you, he does these things. He's going to be a Heisman finalist. He's going to be in New York. And Georgia Tech might find themselves in a ACC championship game or as the second or third team from the ACC. I really believe it. I could see Miami, Florida State, and Georgia Tech. Those 3 teams deserve to be in the playoff if they continue to take care of business. I actually think Georgia Tech can. And then other than that, nothing too crazy. No games really stuck out to me a whole lot. Michigan responded back with a 63-3 win over Central Michigan. Don't worry. They're new great head coach Sharon Moore was suspended. Chose that game as a suspension. Wouldn't it be so cool if you could just choose whenever you're gonna get punished? Hey, I know I'm gonna get punished, but I'm gonna choose my punishment. Yeah, let's do Central Michigan. Nebraska this next week. Let's see if Nebraska can get on. Bama 38-14 over Wisconsin. I don't know how much more Luke Fickell's got there. I mean, I know it's the first lost season. It feels like they're 0-3, though. It just feels like there's not a lot in that program. And I like Fickell. Obviously, he's done a lot of good things for Ohio State for a long time, but he just might not be the guy over there. And it'll be very interesting to see how they finish up with Big Ten play coming up and finish out this season. Some of these big games, Texas Tech, Utah. Give me Utah. I like Utah a lot. I think Utah is playing some really good defense, and Texas Tech is fun too. Their offense is explosive. But I don't know. Utah, it's these type of grinded out games that they're, the best defense usually in the Big 12, full of high power offenses. I like Utah a lot. we're going to get to the point of like Utah and Iowa State. Those two teams might be the best two teams in the Big 12, and that's going to be a fun Big 12 championship game, which is far different than when I said Kansas State and Arizona State at the beginning. My goodness. Oregon State, Oregon, 0-3, 3-0, but that's always a fun game. Give me the Civil War. Oregon's going to win that. Auburn, Oklahoma, 3:30 ABC. I'm really excited to see John Mateer play another big game. I love John Mateer in these big games, in these big moments. He just strives for them. Going to play really well. I think Oklahoma gets that one. I would not be surprised if Auburn gets the upset, though. But Oklahoma's playing really well. They look really good right now. Red River shootout in a few weeks. It's going to be fun between Oklahoma and Texas. Michigan, Nebraska, I already said this one. CBS, Paramount Plus exclusive, too. You can watch it on Paramount Plus. No Sharon Moore on this one. Nebraska's 3-0, playing good. Dylan Raiola's already thrown 8 touchdowns this season through 3 games. Can he, at home, upset Michigan? I think they can. I think this could be a shocker game for a lot of people. Georgia Tech's got Temple. Like I said, already big on Georgia Tech. They're going to go 4-0. South Carolina, Missouri. It really all depends. Is Lenore Sellers, is he going to be healthy? Is he hurt? If he doesn't play, give me Missouri. Bo Prabula, my goodness, what a comeback last week that he led the Missouri Tigers on. Has them ranked. I think Missouri wins that one, especially if Sellers is out. And that South Carolina high that they were riding, it's just going to plummet. It just doesn't feel like it's there anymore. Florida, Miami, I cannot believe game day's going here. Like, I've just read you some really good matchups, whether ranked or not. And this is one that they're going to. I don't know. It must be the Carson Beck Miami effect. Miami's 4. They put them in the new rankings as 4. I don't know. I think that they win this one. They're going to end up blowing Florida out at the end, I think. And I don't even think it said that Miami's that great. I think it's Florida. And again, I think Florida can win games. I think Florida is good. I just think Florida's in a really hard part right now with their schedule, and Miami's playing well enough. But I wish this game wasn't the one on ABC. But I guess it is what it is. Illinois, Indiana, NBC, 7:30 at night. Also on Peacock. Don't worry if you don't have NBC but you got Peacock, it's right there for you. Because God forbid, we don't have games on a streaming service, right? Illinois, Indiana. This is so much fun. I mean, 2 teams that within the last 2 years have just really built up programs with good coaching, great recruiting, bringing guys in the transfer portal. Kurt Signetti with Indiana, other than Ohio State is like what 14-1 in the Big Ten or in regular season over the last 2 years. Illinois, he's been there for a good amount of time now, quite 3 or 4 years, but every year just gets better and better, and they are explosive on offense right now. They're putting up a lot of points, and defense plays really good. Just because I've kind of hyped up that game so much with Illinois and Ohio State, I think Illinois, I think they're too good to like look past this team. I think it's a fight to the very end. It is in Bloomington. It's in Indiana. It might be the biggest game in Indiana in years, maybe ever at this point for them, with just the high that they've been on these last 2 years, with everything that Kurt Sinetti's brought to that program and built up. That game in Michigan last year was kind of that big one. And this year they get number 9 Illinois. Give me Illinois to go into Bloomington. I know it's not quite the upset. Indiana is actually favored 5.5, so it is. But Illinois, the better team, goes in there and gets the win. Michigan State, USC, 11 p.m. 11 p.m. on Fox. By the way, if you're Michigan State fan, you got to stay up till 11 p.m. at night to watch that game. I mean, that's crazy. That's insane. Obviously, Ohio State's on a bye this week. Doesn't play anybody. Gets ready for Washington again in a few weeks. And very, very excited for that game. Should be a really fun one. By the way, that will be September 27th because, couldn't get all my dates right. But we'll talk about those games as we get closer to it. Let's transition to the NFL. And before I talk NFL, gosh, I just want to call out myself. I am the biggest jabroni on the planet. We recapped great Week 1 NFL games last week. And then as I'm looking at these games, I kind of briefly talked about, I went straight to Week 3. I think I said Lions and Ravens. Great game. So excited for it. Week 3 Monday Night Football. So we'll preview that one in just a moment. But let's recap these Week 2 games that did actually happen, that were scheduled, that were on the docket, that were in the correct order. Starts with Thursday Night Football was Commanders-Packers. the Commanders made it look a little more respectful in the end, scoring 50 in the fourth quarter, but the Packers just dominated them from start to finish. I mean, Jordan Love is looking good, and I was not high on that Jordan Love hype to start, but he's proved wrong. Josh Jacobs was running the ball really well, running hard. Tucker Kraft had the game of his life, 6 catches, 124 yards, and a touchdown. It's amazing when you add Micah Parsons to that defense, just how more explosive they look. They are really good. They're solid all the way around. Jaden Daniels is my MVP pick. He's looked not great. The ability for them to distribute the ball and run and scramble and on offense, score points and move the ball, it's just not been there. Now he's dealing with a knee injury or a hip injury, something minor, nothing big, but like it's a young season. 2 weeks in, he can still go ball out and win the Heisman, or win the MVP, and they can have a very productive season, win a lot of games. I don't like to overreact 3-2 games, but that was my pick to win that division. So far, it has not been great for the Commanders, and the Packers just look really good. Bengals, Jags, what would have been such a snooze fest of a game. Then Burrow gets hurt. Browning comes in, throws 3 picks, and still has a way to wheel the Bengals to win, who are 2-0, by the way, the 2-0 Bengals, who almost just feel like it should be 0-2. I mean, if Browns have a kicker, and maybe if Burrow doesn't get hurt, and if Browning throws 3 picks, the Bengals are that close to being 0-2. The Jags, found a way to kind of put some points, and Travis Etienne looks like Travis Etienne of old. But I really don't expect either of these teams to win a lot going forward. So enjoy the victories while you have it. Cowboys, Giants, Russell Wilson looked like Russell Wilson of 2012, 2013 Russ. I mean, it was insane. The 3 deep touchdowns. Malik Neighbors is really good. And the Cowboys have put up a lot of points. A lot of points. And maybe if Micah Parsons was around, if you had an edge rusher like the Packers do, named Micah Parsons, your defense might be able to get a stop, and you wouldn't have to go to overtime and have Brandon Aubrey kicking field goals to send it to overtime and then win it at the buzzer. First person in NFL history, by the way, first kicker in NFL history. Brandon Aubrey's the first kicker in NFL history to kick a field goal to send it to overtime as time expires, and then kick the same field goal to win the game as time expires. It's a pretty cool little tidbit. Lions 52, Bears 21. The Bears are 0-2. They feel like they're in a bad spot. They are not looking good. They're not hitting on offensively kind of how it was expected with the weapons they had. And maybe Caleb's not it. At what point does Ben Johnson move on? At what point does Ben Johnson say, it's not my guy? It's not who I wanted. Bench him. Let's ride this out. Let's get a new guy next year. Get some value for Caleb Williams. Somebody will take a flyer on him. We got talent here. We have to be able to produce better offensively. And the Lions figured it out, I think. I really think that week 1, both coordinators not being there, like we've talked about, losing both those guys, obviously Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn, playing the Packers, a really good Packers team, in Green Bay, was week 1 kind of a fluke, and they figured it out. Goff looked really good. Jahmyr Gibbs was explosive. And Amon-Ra St. Brown looks like he could be a top 3, top 4 receiver in the league. When they give him the ball, and again, it wasn't as flashy. It was grinded out, but it was still the same, Dan Campbell football. And Ben Johnson even said afterwards, they're like, hey, are you, did he run it up? And they're like, no, that's what he does. He goes for it on 4th down. They don't kick it. If we didn't kick it when I was there, they're not kicking it now. And I like that. That's Dan Campbell football. I say it. I always say this. If Steelers ever want to move on from Mike Tomlin, Dan Campbell's my first call. He can be the Steelers coach for the next 20 years, just like they do. Rams, Titans. The Rams are 2-0. I said they're going to be 2-0. As long as Matthew Stafford is there, he's going to be really good. Titans surprised me, though. 19 points. That offense started humming at certain points. Tony Pollard played well. And Cam Ward, there's good things there. Tennessee's not going to win a lot of games this year, but there's good things in Tennessee. If you're a Titans fan, there's things to be excited for. Patriots, Dolphins. If there's one thing I was right on this year is the Dolphins just have no juice. The Dolphins just have nothing there. The Dolphins are going to implode here soon. Mike McDaniels makes it a few more weeks. Tua is maybe he gets traded. Tyreek maybe gets traded. If I'm the Bengals, I'm calling. Maybe I'm calling for Tua. Maybe I'm calling for Jameis. They need to get somebody, and it's certainly, Tua's just it doesn't fit well in Miami right now. Or maybe he's the quarterback of the future with a new coach, but there's things there, there's guys there, it just doesn't feel right. Tyreek's gonna be on a different team by the end of the season, maybe back to the Chiefs. But he's gonna find a home that's not Miami. I truly believe. I just don't think there's juice there. It just doesn't feel right for him. And then Vrabel gets his first win as the Patriots head coach. That 33-27 win. Niners Saints. My God, the Niners are 2-0. They are absolutely like the worst 2-0 team, maybe other than the Bengals. Mac Jones goes and throws 3 touchdowns. I mean, what? Just poor game. Poor game. Just not a fun game, I don't think. I don't think that the Niners are that good, and I think the Saints are really bad. Bills 30, Jets 10. The Jets scored a touchdown with like the last second to get every team a touchdown in the 1 p.m. games. Now, the Bills really screwed that. The only team without a passing touchdown. You scored 4 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns, all running the ball. James Cook, 132 yards. Josh Allen breaks his nose, misses a play, goes back in, just baller. Seahawks, Steelers. I don't even want to talk about this game. The Steelers defense, paying all those guys all that money to do what? Can't stop the ball. JSN is really good. I'm obviously a big JSN fan. Biased towards JSN. He is not just catching balls. He's so wide open. Kenneth Walker just ran all over you all day long. And then Caleb Johnson. You're so bad I forgot your name for a minute. Just dumb, stupid blunders. You are a professional football player. Your job is to be in the NFL. I know the kickoff rules. How do you not? And that was it right there. I mean, Aaron Rodgers throws that pick in that back end zone because Calvin Austin made a dumb play. I'm not mad at a young kid. I guess I can be mad at young kids for making stupid plays because Caleb Johnson did it. Bad position, throw the pick, but defense go get a stop, right? Instead, throw that pick, they score, and then they kick it off, and they get another touchdown because of Caleb Johnson's dumb play. Back in the end zone, not letting it bounce into the, that active zone or whatever they call it. And then, they pick it up in the end zone and it's touchdown. Like, that's new kickoff rules. Can't happen again. Wasted a loss to a good Seattle team, but not a team that they should have lost to. Ravens, Browns. This was close to start. I mean, 10-3 at halftime, and then the Ravens kind of figured out at the end. Browns fans might start 0-6. I mean, that was my prediction. Might start 0-6. Lamar is really, really good. I think, if Jane Daniels has won the MVP this year, which not looking great so far, it might be Lamar. Broncos, Colts, I hate that the Colts were able to get this win because of a Broncos error that wasn't really an error. That call, whatever they call it, the leverage penalty is so hit or miss, so unfair to the team when it gets called because it never really feels like it should be called. And you give the Colts another opportunity. It was a 60-yard field goal he missed. A 15-yard penalty for leverage that they get to re-kick and obviously win the game. Cardinals 2-0, beat the Panthers 0-2, 27-22. Bryce Young, 3 touchdowns, 320 yards. He threw the ball 55 times, so he threw the ball a lot. So there's hope there for like a Caleb Williams. Like maybe they bench him, and he comes out and starts playing well like Bryce Young did. But the Cardinals also putting up 27 points, 20 in the first half, kind of let off a little bit in the second half and let the Panthers make it close. But is Kyler good enough to get the ball to Marv, to let that offense grow? Trey Benson's coming. I think he's a running back of the future. There's pieces there. Only held Carolina to 22 with as good as Bryce Young played. Again, threw the ball a lot. The run game just non-existent for Carolina, it feels like. But obviously, young season, young team. Both those teams I feel young. And the Cardinals being 2-0 in that division could be a good stepping stone for them. You got them 2-0. You got the Niners 2-0. You got the Rams 2-0. And you got the Seahawks 1-1. I mean, it could come down to being a fight, or it could just be the Rams end up being the better team. Eagles, Chiefs. We're going to go back to Eagles, Chiefs in a second. Falcons, Vikings, boring game. Field goal snooze fest. J.J. McCarthy is what I said he was. I posted on Facebook. if you're friends with me on Facebook, you saw my little post and then some comments, some jabs back and forth. And I was willing to admit I was wrong. He played great in the fourth quarter, week 1. He looked awful week 2. It's not like the Falcons have a great defense. They lit him up. They made him look like a high school kid playing an NFL quarterback. J.J. McCarthy is not that good. Now he's going to be out 2, 3, 4 weeks with a sprained ankle. Hope he gets healthy and comes back and continues to not play well. Just give Justin Jefferson the ball. Have him in some fantasy football leagues. The Monday night games, Tampa Bay and Texans. I mean, the Texans did everything they could to give that game up to the Bucs. 0-2. CJ's not playing well. Bucs 2-0. Baker looks so good. I mean, Baker just moves around that pocket. He steps up. He scrambles. He is a really, really good quarterback. Really fun quarterback. Really good for that offense. I really like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think they win that division. They make the playoffs. They could be a dangerous playoff team. They really can. I mean, Igbuka has stepped up, and he almost feels like wide receiver 1. And if Mike Evans is your wide receiver 2, along with Bucky Irving running the ball like they do, that defense. They gave C.J. Stroud fits all night long. I mean, they were pressuring him all night long. That is a really good, fun team in a very weak division. You go win those games, get some momentum into the playoffs, and go win some. Make an NFC Championship run. I mean, seriously, they're that good. They can go win, make it to the NFC Championship and give any team a fit. And then Chargers-Raiders, again, kind of a snooze fest. This game was on at 10:05 kickoff last night, so that did not get watched. We're going to go back to Eagles-Chiefs real quick. Super Bowl rematch. I picked the Chiefs to win this game. Obviously, I didn't pick it on last week's episode because I skipped week 2. But I thought the Chiefs were going to bounce back after a tough week 1 loss to the Chargers. I thought they were going to play better. I thought they were going to put up points. I thought that, Mahomes is going to really break out. And I know they still don't have Rashee Rice. So what I said at the beginning, the NFL preview episode, I said for the full offense, the Chiefs just feel dangerous again. They made O-line changes, and that O-line just doesn't feel like he's getting any protection, like he's getting any help. Travis Kelce looks a step slow. He really does. And almost maybe in a selfish, he's playing selfish. Like, they had a big play, and he's mad on the sideline. We don't know the context. I don't know the context. But it's going to be really hard for Mahomes and the Chiefs to, win a Super Bowl this year. If they don't start winning these close games, couldn't get a stop on defense, but they couldn't get that stop because of the tush push. And I'm going to say one thing about the tush push. This is a big rant video, and maybe at some point in the future we can talk more about these rants of my, obviously Ohio State, the Big Ten, and CBS and Fox and all that crap later on. Well, I talked about that earlier. I'm going to go back to it at some point in the future because it just makes me so mad. And the tush push just makes me so mad. I hate everything about the tush push. I hate fake football. And I'm one. Like, if you can't stop it, that's on you, and you need to figure out a way to stop it. If you don't like a team celebrating, scoring on you, figure out and stop it. But when you give the offense the advantage, so much of the advantage that it's unfair, then it becomes fake football. Now I get it. I understand the center can line up off sides. I know that. I know football. I know the center is off sides, right? But for the whole center, for his whole body to be off sides, and then both the guards to be off sides, and then half the time they do their little flying V formation where the tackles are off the line of scrimmage. It's an illegal formation. There's offsides and illegal formation. And then every single time the Eagles run it, those guards are moving forward first. So not only is it offsides, not only is it an illegal formation half the time, it's a false start. And they don't call it on the Eagles. And so your defense, you got all your guys lined up on the nose of the ball because it's the only way for you to get any leverage at all, any type of way to be able to maybe stop it is to be right there on it. And then those guys move forward and they dig their helmets right into the offense. And then Jalen Hurts is stuck there. I mean, there was one where he was not moving for 2 seconds. Blow the whistle and the play. But instead, they let it keep going. They pick him up and they throw him over the line, and it's a first down. How can anybody stop the tush push when you allow the Eagles to run it the way they do? It is illegal. It is not ran the way that a QB sneak or a tush push of shoving your guy should be. You cannot give an unfair advantage to the offense. And obviously, they know when the ball's going to snap. Those guys are moving early, and they don't call it. And they let the Eagles go in there and do that for a touchdown and 2 critical first downs on that last drive, basically, that iced the game for the Eagles that didn't give the Chiefs a chance. Now, you're going to say don't let them get 4th and 1 or 4th and 2 or 3rd and 1 and 3rd and 2. I get it. Or 1st and goal on the 1-yard line. I get it. But that's football. And that's where really good defenses make those stops, and you have not allowed it over the span of the last 2, 3, 4 years. And every single year, it just feels like the Eagles get away with more and more and more and more bull crap of it. So, I'm not an Eagles fan, obviously. I hate watching the Eagles get away with this crap. It is ridiculous. Over and over. It's time that they start calling it. It's time to let them make them have to earn real first downs. All right. Week 3, NFL season, some of these big games coming up. I'm going to run through all these real quick and just give you my picks. Bills, Dolphins. Bills win it by a lot. Josh Allen scores a lot of touchdowns. It's going to look similar to last week's box score. It might be the end of McDaniels if they lose bad. Packers, Browns. Browns fans, you're not getting your first win this week. Sorry, the Packers are going to come into Cleveland. They're going to put on a show for you. Colts, Titans. The Colts, through 2 games, have not punted a single time. First team in NFL history, I believe, to go through 2 games and not punt. Last year, the Saints' offense looked unstoppable, looked unreal. Week 3 comes around, they came back down to earth. Does it happen for the Colts? I think so, yes. Do they still beat the Titans? Yes. Bengals, Vikings, Jake Browning versus Minnesota's backup. Great. What a fun game. I saw something that said we should flex that game to 4 a.m. in the morning, so it's off TV. Steelers, Patriots. I mean, going into this game, I would have picked the Steelers, be 3-0, go to Foxborough, get a win that don't usually get in Foxborough. But the way they're playing right now, defensively, Drake May is going to tear them apart. They're going to run all over him with Travion and Ramondre. Do I think the Steelers can put up points on their defense? Sure. Can they put up more points than the Patriots put up? Until our defense stops anybody, I'm going to say no. Rams, Eagles, what a fun game. Give me the Rams. I'm so tired of the Eagles. The Rams are going to put up points. This is kind of a revenge game from the divisional round last year. The Rams should have won. That the Eagles, got handed to them. Jets, Bucks. I want to pick the Jets. I do. I want to pick the Jets to bounce back, but I like Tampa Bay a lot. Give me Tampa Bay. Commanders, Raiders. Both teams need a win. Both teams are 1-1. Felt good after a kind of week 1 win, and then lose this last week with 0 offense. If Jayden Daniels doesn't play, the Raiders win this game. Jayden Daniels does play. I think the Commanders can win it by a lot. Falcons, Panthers, boring game. Give me the Falcons, I guess. Texans, Jags. Until CJ starts playing like rookie CJ, the Texans aren't going to win a lot of games. And Trevor Lawrence looks like he, could be one of the biggest busts in recent memory. But I think the Texans get their first one. Broncos, Chargers. The Chargers run the ball really well. Justin Herbert's playing very good football, and I think that's a good, sign of Jim Harbaugh being he's a good coach. We know he's a good coach. Chargers win that one in SoFi. Saints, Seahawks. I watched the whole Seahawks game. They are good. Their offense is good. Their run game is good. Give me the Seahawks. They're going to kind of run over the Saints, and that one is in Seattle. Bears, Cowboys. Cowboys are going to put up points, and the Bears aren't going to put up points. This could be similar. I'm not saying 52, but give me like 35-21 Cowboys. Cardinals, Niners. Both teams are 2-0. One's not going to be after this. Give me the Cardinals to go into Santa Clara, to go into the 49ers home, beat them. I think that the Cardinals put up a good amount of points. I just don't think that the 49ers are that good, and they're playing, they're not going to keep getting lucky with these wins against bad teams. Your Sunday night football game, the Chiefs and the Giants. The Chiefs need this one. They cannot start 0-3. The Giants can start 0-3 because they're a rebuilding team. It feels rebuilding, even though they played really good offense last week. I could see it kind of being a shootout. I could see 35-28. I could see both teams putting up points, but the Chiefs need this win. I think the Chiefs get this win. I think they pull away at the end, and if you're a Chiefs fan, you feel really good after this week, with their first win and knowing that it was earned. And then the Monday night game, Lions, Ravens. This is fun. This is the game that I talked about last week. I was so excited I skipped a week last week. Lions, Ravens. Both teams are 1-1. Both teams kind of feel like they played week 1 teams that are both really good and kind of blew it. Obviously, the Ravens really did blow it. The Lions really didn't feel like they had a chance. And then they go and they dominate week 2 teams, weaker opponents. This one kind of gives you a good feeling of like, what is the season going to look like? Are we only going to beat up on the bad, or can we compete with the good teams? And if you win that game, you go in to week 4, 2-1, with a win against a bad team and a win against a really good team. And either way, whoever wins, both teams are still really good. There's a lot of talent there. Give me the Lions. Give me the Lions to go into Baltimore. Baltimore's minus 4.5 favorite. Derrick Henry's going to run the ball really well. Lamar's going to throw the ball and run the ball. But the Lions are going to put up a lot of points because they have a very good offense all the way around. The Lions win that game. All right, guys. A little bit longer. 2 big rants in there. 45-minute long episode. I mean, longest one that I feel like I've done. Guys, if you made it this far, thank you for listening. Thanks for being part of it. Thanks for giving this a chance. I really do appreciate it. I do. Like I enjoy doing this a lot, and as long as people listen, I want to keep doing it. So thank you. Thanks for sharing this. If you, I always say, if share it with somebody that loves football, they'll appreciate, good football talk, and share, give me your thoughts. Like if you're seeing this on TikTok or your YouTube or any of your clips, make sure you comment on it, leave me a review, all those things, and then make sure you do that question for the comments. And then just kind of as we round this out, another question for you. Like, if you see me, talk to me. Who are your top 5 teams, college football teams in the country? I'm not going to rank them yet because they just feel so incomplete. Like Notre Dame is good, but they haven't done anything to prove that they're good. Texas, are they really good and they're only lost to a really good Ohio State team, or are they not good? Penn State, until you play somebody, it's so hard, and that's why like preseason rankings are a joke. It's really hard to kind of really gauge that. But so I'm not going to get my top 5 teams yet, but give me your top 5 teams. Comment on there. And if you're a high school kid, who listens to this or follows me on TikTok or Instagram, and I appreciate you high school kids. I appreciate my football players, my boys. Okay, shout out all of you. Okay, but if you're a high school kid and you are, thinking about doing any type of social media or you're good at editing and you kind of want to be a part of what I'm doing, you want to help me out, I can offer you a free internship, okay, for your work, and just kind of make you part of my team. That's kind of my least favorite part, guys, is the editing. It's the posting on social media. It's not my thing. I want to do the talking, and the posting is a hard part. So if you're a young kid and you want to, develop that skill a little bit, or you're interested in it, or you already kind of do it and you want to help out, just reach out to me and we can maybe work something out. Again, free internship. But again, the most important thing is just your support. Thank you for all your support. Make sure you answer your question for the comments. Tell me your top 5 teams. Share this with somebody that loves football. And like Mike Tomlin says, the standard is the standard. Let's continue to set that standard as we continue to grow these shows. Grow the standard, set the standard. This is the Sabo Standard Podcast.